It is October, and in this month, people remember. Texas Tech beat Texas, a devastating loss. JT Daniels led his team to a road victory at West Virginia. The coaches have a lot at stake. Sark and Neil Brown get down in the capital city of Austin, Texas. Beautiful night here, 82 degrees. Humidity is just perfect, absolutely perfect. No wind really to speak of, and they've closed this building in recent years. We touched on Neil Brown. You know, he got there right before COVID hit. He's had a very difficult schedule, particularly non-conference, opening with that rivalry game against Pitt. Sarkisian started with arguably the best team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and have now dropped the game on the road in Lubbock. And frankly, the time for his program is now. He knows what they're capable of, as you mentioned in our open.
Well, right now, Steve Sarkisian, to me, year over year, looks like a much more settled coach right now. Did he look that way to you in
Yes,
our meeting?
Yeah.
Time together, much more aware of what's around him. He's accepted a few things. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to unpack some of that as the game progresses. But I think this is an excellent matchup today, Tim.
It really is. And again, so much at stake so early in a season. West Virginia won the toss and elected to receive. That should tell you they want to get off to a good start. This is Jeremiah Aaron bringing it back. And he is ushered out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 17. And JT Daniels, last Thursday night at Virginia Tech, 20 of 30 for 203 with a touchdown, but really handled the late game circumstances with aplomb. You know his story. Only a half of play at USC, then it was on to Georgia, where everyone had him penciled in to be the guy. He got a national title, may have matured a great deal in practice, and we'll talk about that a bit more, but he could not unseat Stetson Bennett as the starting quarterback. Tony Mathis will begin in the backfield on first down, and it looks like we've got a marker down in premature movement against West Virginia.
False start, number 66. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Have some movement in this offensive front for West Virginia. Our white hat, Michael Vandervelde, with the call, our referee. Our replay official tonight is Gene Simcoe.
Tim, and that's unfortunate they got off to this inauspicious start because possessions are going to be really important in this game.
That was Jaquay Hubbard that was the guilty party. And here's Sam James. He gets it out to the 15-yard line. As you look at this West Virginia lineup, should mention Hubbard is starting at that right tackle spot. Nestor is starting at right guard. He normally would be at tackle. Frazier is the leader of the group. And then you see in the backfield and the wide receiving corps some outstanding weaponry for JT Daniels to work with.
Yeah, they're taking their time getting in the right play. Zach doing a wonderful job of settling them in. Zach Frazier, the center, is going to set the lineup for him to get him in the proper play. See if they handle this blitz.
Behind the sticks already, Daniels lets it fly underneath the shallow cross. Sam James has the first down and more. Out to the 41-yard line and a first down.
Wonderful job of JT standing tall in the pocket and taking that blitz coming from depth. You can see it here. It was a late delay blitz coming in. And I'm telling you, you got to be aware of Jalen Ford, that Mike linebacker, number 41, coming in there. And JT knew where he was from the very beginning of that play. Excellent IDing the threat and getting rid of the ball.
You will not see a better presence in the pocket in college football than JT Daniels. He is somewhat stoic in terms of personality, but really in control in talent. Here he is with a naked.
Nice.
Looping it deep and out of bounds. Throwing in the direction of Caden Prather, one of his favorite targets. And the pressure was coming from Ojimo.
Well, the pressure was coming from the edge rusher inside, and they had an inside release, which was amazing because you're basically giving JT the edge to get around. If he could have just composed himself a little bit more, Tim, and I know you talked about him being composed in the pocket, but when you're on the move, it's important that you get those launch points established and those shoulders squared because he had a man open downfield.
Interesting you mention that because launch points were one of the things that Graham Harrell brought up to us the offensive coordinator, formerly with him at USC, and of course moved over to West Virginia just this year. Prather takes the little bubble screen. They'll only give him about a yard on the pickup. That's Overshown making the stop.
Yeah, Brent Thompson was in there as well. I mean, not Brent, but on the backside of that, Tim, they had pressure coming in. Anthony Cook, the bandit safety, was in there, who came in late with pressure, and just showing you how to handle that bunch formation. Those 3 bunch players in there can be really difficult to sort out, so those guys have got to be on their assignments.
So the first opportunity to convert a 3rd down after a 27-yard pass completion got them here on 2nd and 13. Mathis is back in as a setback. Trips to the bottom of your screen.
Nice protection.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time, and that pass is overthrown. Could have been picked. Sam James, the intended receiver, but JT airmailed that one a little.
Well, that protection is awesome. By the way, Sam James had a nice catch against Virginia Tech a couple weeks ago, and just on, it was actually on a Thursday night, but when you watch him settle in that pocket and find his receivers, it's because of that protection that is establishing him, giving that nice little shell to protect him.
They've had to move that offensive line around from position to position, but one of the things they do have is a consistent, strong offensive front. They're going to be tested tonight by that pass rushing Texas defense. The boot from Oliver Strong. Xavier Worthy gathers it in with a fair catch, a 45-yard boot, and that's where Texas will take over. Well, no truth to the rumor that that's how I dropped in tonight. No.
I'm told you got here. That's how you got in. Champions Mindset, sponsored by Hampton by Hilton for the stay. And Timmy, speaking of that champion's mindset, it's about Texas, right? Demonstrating the ability to produce confidence. And how you do that? Demonstrated ability. When you have success on the field, we talked about this for both the offense and defensive side, you're going to come to the next level. Now, West Virginia, they've got to find a way to make big plays and make it routine. Big plays, big days, and this is certainly a big day.
By the way, that transition from booth announcer to analyst was really swift.
You like that?
Yeah. Right away, it's Sanders. Jatavion Sanders sets sail for a first down on the opening play for Texas. As you look at Hudson Card, he's not 100%. That is clear. But he has played through it, says Steve Sarkisian, as well as anyone he's ever had. There's Quinn Ewers. Of course, his injury a little bit more difficult to deal with. But he did warm up. He could play in tonight's game. Bijan Robinson again with the carry, out for a couple of yards. Dante Stills, we'll call that name a lot tonight for West Virginia. They are stout up front. Those 3 in the middle, Stills, Jefferson, and Sean Martin, have been outstanding. But this is a very young and somewhat depleted secondary. Just only 1 senior on their back end.
That's where I think the opportunities are on the back end for Texas. Miscommunication there. Bijan either went the wrong way or Cord came out, and that's what the byproduct of not executing at a high level will do right there. That cursory fake was so important. When your back either goes the wrong way or the quarterback opens up, he's not fooling anyone. See, watch again. Bijan is just going straight to that end, and he's got those arms up like he's expecting the fake to go that direction. Now, he could have gone, we don't know, the opposite direction, but Card obviously had no one to draw the attention of the defender, and as a result, the play was not effective.
The pressure came from Lee Koba. Texas has not been good on 3rd down. Only 33%, 15 for 45, ranking 104th in the country.
And they want possessions, right? They want to extend the chains, move them up.
He's in trouble again and sacked. Way back at the 13, that's Jazeer Cox, the transfer from North Dakota State. Grad senior from Kansas City.
Boy, I tell you what, he was coming, I mean, off that edge. He's 6'1", 204. He's not a small guy at all, Tim. Watch number 7. He's kind of lined up in like a 5-eye technique. He's going outside, and he's using a shield. That's Sean Martin, the defensive lineman, that he's behind, and he's giving him a confused look. Able to get in there and create pressure immediately on the quarterback. Great design in setting him up to make an outstanding defensive play.
We've got a marker down. Texas was giving a lot of motion before that punt formation, and it led to
number 7.
This.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So we've had a mental error, and we've had a mistake and a penalty, false start, Tim, and that's an inauspicious way for Texas to start. You don't want to do that. You want to get efficient, and you want to be fast and execute at a high level.
Trejo is an outstanding punter, averaging 44.5, and the boot is taken in by Preston Fox, and he spun down in a hurry. 33-yard boot. Nothing on the return.
Great field position.
Oh, indeed. Mountaineers will be in great shape at the Texas 48 when we return to Austin. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton.
For the stay.
How about that? You don't get that from every booth. A combo billboard read.
There you go.
Underway here in the opening quarter. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman with the ball at the 48-yard line. C.J. Donaldson, the junior out of Liberty City. He's a tough kid. You may have lightning in a bottle for the future of this West Virginia team with this kid. Number 12.
6'2", 240. Here he is.
Here he goes. And he will get yards after contact. Get him 4 on that one. We'll call it a long 3. So 2nd down and 7 coming up. And there are the numbers. Look at that. That's in Division I power football, Keith. High school football a year ago at this time, he can get downhill in a hurry. And when you see Mathis in the game, and he's got some help, they've got that scat back capability, sort of an Amos Zaraway look. This kid is big and strong and will run over you.
Good call.
Little curl pattern, which is caught. That's Bryce Ford Wheaton. 27 catches for 319 coming into tonight's game. It'll be 3rd down and a half yard.
You talk about a ball in the dark. Watch this zone coverage here. Boom, sit your numbers, present them down right there. And Bryce Ford Wheaton was sitting right in that spot. JT, to your point earlier, the accuracy showing on that play right there. Splitting the difference between the 2 defenders on either side so as to extend the margin of error. Wonderful execution.
Spot was a bit further back. It's 3rd down and 2 from the 40 of Texas.
Look at that veteran line, man.
Here he goes, plenty of room, and he dumps it to the tight end, and he couldn't hold on. O'Laughlin, 87, had it, but dropped it after contact.
And he's down.
And he's down. O'Laughlin is still on the deck. Ogofu, I think, is the one that made the stick. I beg your pardon. Nope, that was Overshown. And Cook.
Yep, Cook was in there as well, Tim. And again, big tight ends, he had to reach that ball on its back shoulder. And here's where the nuance of accuracy comes into play.
Yep.
If you put that ball out in front of that tight end, he doesn't have to turn his shoulders, and he's not leaning on that debilitated left leg. And he's running in stride, and he continues, and maybe he avoids that injury.
You know, in a lot of ways, JT should have run that ball.
Yep,
I think he put him in harm's way by throwing it here. He had a lot of green grass in front of him. By the time he made this throw, Cook had come in there, and Overshown was right behind him as well. Look at all that green right there, Spence.
Yep.
A lot of green.
And there's more ways to attack the grass than just throwing it to avoid. That's a moving zone look right there. And he had a choice. He could have taken it and run it if he wanted to.
Good news and a nice show of sportsmanship from the Texas faithful as they give him a nice round of applause. O'Laughlin,
big boy right there, man.
Redshirt junior out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, is up under his own power.
Good to see that.
He only needed 2 yards on that play. So they're going to go for it here. The analytics are telling you to go for it here on 4th down. 6 of 8 Texas gave up last week against Texas Tech. They were actually very good on 3rd down. But Pete Kwiatkowski, their defensive coordinator, said, you know, we just didn't get off the field on 4th down.
Yep, and this is part of the formula of how teams steal possessions from the Longhorns this year.
Over the middle, that pass is incomplete.
Great defense.
Ford Wheaton could not hang on. Outstanding contact by Ryan Watts, the junior out of Little Elm, Texas.
Well, I tell you, Ryan Watts has got nice size. I mean, about 6'3", 206. And the thing I like about him is he's on an island. It's all man coverage, and he knows it, Tim. What a wonderful job of stepping up.
Opportunity missed on 2 balls that could have easily been corralled. And for Daniels, not taking an opportunity to stride for the 1st down himself. Texas finally got an athletic director that could walk in the shoes of DeLoss Dodds. Chris Del Conte with the Longhorn, okay, in that new section that closed off that end of the stadium. And boy, oh boy, it is a thing of beauty.
That's a nice touch right there.
No question. Del Conte also got the man that he put a statue up for in Fort Worth to be a part of this staff as an analyst in Gary Patterson. Right away, Card in trouble again. He's going to try his legs. Now dumps it late to Sanders. And he's got a first down and then some.
Edward Vesterman was bringing heat to him, number 96. And again, that pressure is what forced that ball out of there, but doing a wonderful job of putting himself in a position where he could complete the play and get the ball in the hands of his big receiver.
Only 17 yards. They marked it back at the 49, so call it 11 yards rather than 17. But a first down, and they move the sticks.
Nice.
Down the sideline. That could have been a touchdown. Roshan Johnson made the catch, a wheel route. The ball was thrown a little ahead of him, Spencer. I think he takes that to the house.
Well, it was an option play. It's kind of like an RPO. Tim, you can throw that to the swing back, or it's a levels concept between the two underneath guys. And I love the fact that Javion Sanders, with the tight end, was involved in it as well. So he had two options to go to in that opportunity.
Twin backs, Roshan Johnson, Bijan Robinson. Bijan cuts it back low. Inside the 30. Down to the 27-yard line, and Lee Koba, the Mike linebacker, leading tackler at that position. 24 tackles, 9 solos. In our visit yesterday, he said, you know what, guys? As coaches, we'll write this script, but you got to make the movie.
I tell you, he was going all Carl Jung on us.
Yes, he was.
That's some pretty deep stuff right there, man.
Yep.
You know, he talked about that, and we kind of expanded on the ideas. You got to decide whether or not you want to play a bit role or a leading part.
No denying that they let that one get away in many respects, putting the ball on the ground the way they did. Bijan was walking around and carrying the ball around campus all this week. Lee Koba makes the stop of Robinson there. But those types of losses, okay, have been creeping into the Texas conversation for too many years. And you're right. I think Sark has put out all of those noises that would bother you. However, the noises are there.
Yep, but he's got a great process to filter them out, and hopefully we get a chance to unpack them, because I like the state of mind that he's in right now.
I do too. Third down, a yard to go. Robinson high hurdles his way to the 20-yard line, stopped by Aubrey Burks. These one-score losses have just creeped up. You know, Alabama loses up, gets the job done late with the field goal. Got some help with a holding call that was missed. And, of course, the loss to Texas Tech. A quick out pattern to Xavier Worthy. He gets 5.
What a great move. It seemed small, but again, Aubrey Burks, the 2-3 safety, came up to try to defend that play. Just a little subtle move to get an extra yard. Pretty good play.
The bottom line to that thought about one-score losses, Spencer, is they are 2-7 under Sark. In one-score games.
Well, he's got a strategy for how to deal with that, and again, it deals with what they're doing on Thursday nights, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Play fake, Card with time. Lets it fly in the corner. Touchdown, Worthy. Fourth touchdown pass from Hudson Card. That's the second for a TD for Xavier Worthy.
Again, watch the pressure under duress. The guard is going to come out, and again, the center's going to work in tandem with him. That little pull right there, right? Working on the inside threat. Card handles the inner of the most 2 threats. Wonderful job. He's got to pick one of them, and he did an excellent job.
Auburn with the extra point, and the Horns have a 7-0 lead. Hudson stood in there, didn't he? Took a hit, but got what he wanted. Excellent scoring drive, 7 plays, 60 yards, and Worthy, who's on all the preseason watch lists, the Camp, the Maxwell and Biletnikoffs, all those awards. He had 62 balls for 981 yards and 12 touchdowns last year. It's an embarrassment of riches, really, at the skilled positions for this Texas team. If they can grow older and mature in that offensive front as the season goes on and get better in pass protection, the because they're already pretty good in run blocking.
Yep.
And the best is yet ahead for this Texas team.
Tim, he's on those lists because of what he does with the ball in his hands, but I think his best stuff is what he does when the ball's not in his hands.
Fair catch is called. Let's go back to that touchdown. And speaking of those moves that make him special,
yeah, Jerry Rice perfected this. It's called a shake route, right? Watch Xavier right here, coned up defensive backs, got him man-to-man, and watch this inside move, boom, hard, boom, sell it, then get that shoulder back upfield. Turn you inside out, man. Let me tell you something. Wesley McCormick was trying to defend it from his corner position, and I'm telling you, he's out of that break and into it quick as a hiccup. This guy is so special to watch. When the ball's in his hand or when it's not in his hand, he's working every aspect of the trade of a wide receiver.
Yeah, McCormick, the transfer from James Madison, got turned around. Tony Mathis is in the backfield. West Virginia with 9 plays, 8 passes, only 1 rush. And Mathis looks to run it here, and he runs into a bevy of horns. The whole right side converged. Loss of a yard. The first to get there was Prince Dorba, number 32.
And Prince came from the backside. Watch him chase this play down, Tim. This is just 1-2. A guy just getting in there off the edge. See him chasing. He's always at the end, and he finds the guy, stays with it. That's the effort that I saw against Alabama. That gave me the sense that this team is fully engaged with their head and their soul. Everything is connected, and that goes to the credit to Steve Sarkisian.
2nd down and 11 for Daniels. No bubble screen again. Going to Caden Prather. He gets beyond the original line of scrimmage and up to the 27, so a gain of 3, 3rd and 8.
Prather may need a little prayer after that little love tap. Now, he tapped it pretty good there, and I just love the way they're populating the football. That's getting those orange jerseys around the ball, man. That's all about desire. That's how you play effective defense. Run and chase. As long as the integrity of the scheme is in place, which it is, Pete Kwiatkowski has done a wonderful job with that, improved anyway, and these guys are really showing up.
They're playing it right now with the looks of a team that was burned a week ago and is playing with an edge right now. Markers fly, stepping up into the pocket and letting it go. Daniels hits complete. That's Sam James. He's out to the 45. It'll be a 1st down, but we'll have to check the marker.
Looks like it's going to end up being a free play anyway.
18-yard gain. Preliminary
Offside,
indication.
Number 32, defense lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. 1st down, West Virginia.
Dorba, the Highland Park grad out of Dallas, Texas, lined up in the neutral zone.
And we just talked about him a couple of plays ago, right? Remember when he came down the line and just basically made a play from the backside? Got to be disciplined. You know, part of a mark of a team that's improving is consistency, Tim.
Donaldson is checked back into the game at running back. Sam James has been the favorite target so far for Daniels.
Nice.
Just threw that one away. He was in some trouble again. Palinde, the tight end, number 88, the intended receiver, transfer from Colorado State. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Was another 88 at the jack position. Baron Sorrell for Texas men did a wonderful job of giving kind of what they call a reduction look to invite the quarterback to come to the edge, and which is exactly what he got, and it complements the coverage behind him. And you're seeing some really nuanced things here. And again, I'm not going to give credit to anybody in particular, but I've got to believe the influence Gary Patterson has been seen here on the back end of this defense.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Baron Sorrell out of Holy Cross High School, playing that jack position for Texas. Donaldson. Oh, well, that's a lot of intentionality. Jet Bush comes up to make that stop after a 3-yard gain, number 43 for Texas.
Yeah, you got a down Longhorn down here, Tim, and again, that's because these guys are flying around and making plays. There's Gary on the side up there.
There's Gary. Yep. He's not hitching his pants. Well, actually, he can't because the shirt tail is out. Normally, the shirt tail would be in, and he'd be hitching his pants like Arnold Palmer over there. When he was in Fort Worth, he played a lot of golf in Hogan's Alley. Good man. And both Sark and Pete Kwiatkowski just couldn't go. They couldn't stop talking about the wonderful influence he's been for them behind the scenes, keeping a very low profile. But yeah, as you said, Spencer, there's just too much of his fingerprints on some of what we're seeing conceptually here.
Well, it doesn't hurt that you got a you know, an AD that's familiar with who you are and what you're about. And you know what? Ultimately, Tim, you know how this business is. It's zero-sum, man.
Absolutely.
Creative tension is not a bad thing.
I agree with you.
You get guys that's got that experience, and, hey, you got to be a big boy, not be intimidated.
Keandre Coburn is a big guy, and he's the one that's down. But the good news is he's on both feet and making his way back to the sideline.
Yeah, he just kind of comes in from the left hand with his helmet, and you see him right there. And what's a load, man, coming after you?
Yeah, he may have dinged himself when he went in for that tackle.
Oh man!
3rd down and 7 coming up for JT Daniels and the Mountaineers. This is a huge drive for them. They had a great opportunity with the ball at the 48. Went for it on 4th down and failed, and Texas went right down the field and got the touchdown pass to Xavier Worthy. This is, again, good field position, but a 3rd and long 7.
Let's see if they can play complementary defense here. Give the offense another opportunity. Oh, pressure.
Yeah, big time. He's in trouble, and down he goes. It collapsed in a hurry. Ojimo comes through there, the senior from Katy, Texas, number 98.
Ojimo, Tim, watch him come in. The pressure's coming from depth, the inside game, and I love the fact that you're bringing Jalen Ford over at the Mike linebacker position to cover the void that you leave because of the extra body. Let me tell you, this thing is buttoned down tight. Love the job what Pete Kwiatkowski is doing on the defensive side here. Great pressure back.
Oliver Straw will boot it away with Xavier Worthy standing at his own 20. End over end and a fair catch. Cradled at the 26-yard line for Texas. Well, what a day it's been in the Big 12. Oklahoma goes down and yields that many yards to TCU. Coach Dykes has got it going on. Guess who they get next week? 5-0 Kansas, who beat Iowa State today with the help of 3 missed field goals by the Cyclones. Baylor goes down. That was my team, Spencer. I was bullish on them at the beginning of the year, but they turned it over too much late. And look at those standings. Kansas is atop the league with Kansas State. Can you believe that? Oklahoma State, of course, looks sharp and certainly will be moving up in the rankings, very high in the rankings this coming week with that road win up the road in Waco. There's Bijan Robinson, and he attracted some attention. Excuse me, Roshan Johnson, not Bijan. Yep, that was Roshan, who we had a chance to visit with yesterday. He's a converted quarterback. Played that position, grew up in Port Arthur, Texas.
Yep.
But he believes that his strength is vision, and he's been around for a long, long time. This is a great opportunity for him.
And he knows who Joe Washington is.
Yes, he does.
He hasn't been around that long, but he knows another great Port Arthur.
Well, when you're a part of Friday Night Lights in Port Arthur, you're going to know Joe Washington. I don't care how young you are. Flip it out to Whittington. Jordan Whittington takes it all the way down inside the 45 to the 44.
You're talking about a lit fuse, folks. Racing to a point to explode. This guy right here has got it, Whittington. Watch him. The play action gets guys still in the middle to give him a little nod and extra. He's got 2 linemen out in front of him and puts everybody in his hip pocket.
Sark's got a wide open receiver. It's Worthy. Boy, he was wide open. I mean, by 10 yards.
Love the timing and the pace on this, too. Everybody's concerned about defending the run. All of a sudden, you get a guy split the coverage here. Safety on top of that hash over there, getting a little bit nosy, trying to defend the run. They're cognizant of it.
He knows it. He'd love to have that throw right back one more time, and so does Worthy. He was his eyes had to be as big as watermelons. A little inside screen again. This one to Keelan Robinson.
Well, you got mouthpieces flying all over the place out there. Man, these bodies are getting after it, man. Lee Coben company at the Mike linebacker position. Woo, they're getting after it.
Coben's been all over the place. And he's had a few, just
look
just
at him,
a few
2
misses.
of them, 2 of them come flying out.
That looked like a Joe Frazier mouthpiece against Muhammad Ali. I think it might have been in the second fight. 3rd down and 2. Roshan Johnson, the setback out of the shotgun.
That right side looks appetizing.
Roshan will carry it and have the first down before they push him back at the 33-yard line. Jordan Jefferson and Sean Martin collaborate. Nose guard and defensive end, respectively.
And that's an interesting call, Tim, because you asked the question yesterday to Sark. Where's your experience at? Are you better at run blocking or pass blocking? Immediately said run blocking, right? You get that, but they ran to the, I thought, was the teeth of that defense in that play. I thought they would go to the opposite side, but again, that shows you some of the maturity. Despite being outnumbered, they still got the first down. Double pass.
Here it is, going long for Worthy. And he gets Sanders. The first one goes to Worthy and then to Sanders for the touchdown. Oh, Sark is dialing him up, isn't he?
He is, and the reason why he's doing it because he's a feel and formula guy. He senses they've got to defend our run, so they're populating the box. And when they do that, Tim, boom, you just run right past
what a throw.
Unbelievable throw, the double pass. Saw that thing developing really quickly, and it's just a great execution and anticipation by one of the best play callers in college football.
That was a beautiful toss from Xavier Worthy. Right into the arms of Jatavion Sanders. He led the way against Texas Tech with 5 catches. But I don't think he got the touchdown that he got tonight. He'll remember that for a long time. Lots of conversation on that Texas sideline. When you pull off a play like that, you know you worked on it all week long. Both the recipient and the man for whom placed it in his hands will take a lot of credit in the film room after that. 14-0, and suddenly West Virginia finds themselves backed up. They got to get something done offensively. Jeremiah Aaron will just take the fair catch. Let's take a look at this design, Spencer.
Yeah, what made it work is because of the success on the run game. Here's your high safety. It looks like a cover 2 shell. He's responsible for the deep third, but he's coming up. Why? Because of the success of the earlier running plays, Tim. And then you got behind it. Carr does a wonderful job of making sure that ball was thrown at a lateral, kind of an angle, right? Just enough to make it clean and clear. No discrepancy there. And then the second half of that, just a great release. We've already seen the routes that this guy can run. Unbelievable job by Sanders, Worthy, Carr getting it done from the outset. Just beautiful timing, execution, and feel for the game by Steve Sarkisian.
Big moment for this West Virginia offensive line. They need to get something going in the ground game. They've been stuffed so far. Right away, you see Justin Johnson Jr. And those legs just kept on churning. He got out for about 5. That's one of their best runs from scrimmage. Jaron Thompson, 28.
See, down like this, they're going to probably try to go no huddle, Tim. And the reason why you do it is because you're down, right? When you get down by more than 1 score, Graham Harrell's in a tough spot right now. He's playing left-handed. You're still trying to run the football right now, but you got to pick your spots because they're showing is the Texas Longhorns different looks, little subtleties, causing them to call a timeout because they're not getting the looks that they need.
Right. Well, we've come to the end of one, and it's been all Texas. I think the script was delivered and the movie is being made. Jersey Mike's College Football Tailgate Tours here in Austin. Download the Jersey Mike's app to play our interactive mobile football game, showcasing Cletus, who was on hand today, taking in the sights and sounds. Well, as we open the second quarter, Texas is dominating this game in yards, but time of possession and plays are relatively even. West Virginia in the midst of a must drive, one would think, down by 14. You want to stay in this game the way Texas's offense is operating, you better get something done. Justin Johnson ahead for a couple. You look at those stats, and the number is almost doubled by Texas of West Virginia. 8 first downs to only 2. And that rushing yards, yeah, that's an issue. And West Virginia has got to get more than a yard from those 3 backs. They feel very confident that they can run the football, but to this point, they've not been able to do it.
It's been tough because on the end has been helping him.
There's the cross, and again, a tentative response from the receiver. Sam James, I mean, that's right between the 1 and the 3, and the ball climbed up on him. It's incomplete. 1 for 5 on 3rd down, this West Virginia team.
JT Daniels, such pressure in his face, and again, these guys have got to catch that ball. If it's seated in their hands, they got to do it. This is a great slot receiver you just saw there. I'm not sure what's occupying his mind so that he's not concentrated, but he's much better receiver than what he just demonstrated.
Well, the Horns secondary has been popping them pretty good. We've seen a few tight ends get leveled as well. Worthy is back deep awaiting the punt from Oliver Straw. That was not a good series for West Virginia.
Watch this.
End over end. Takes a good West Virginia bounce and dies at the 29, which will keep Worthy from returning it. 44-yard boot. Just a beautiful city. I come here and I think of fishing and hunting with the great Ron Franklin and playing some golf in Barton Creek.
How about that?
Godspeed to the great Ron. A look at Bijan Robinson back in the lineup. In the Big 12, he's been pretty outstanding, don't you think? And listen, this is a guy that you'd like to see. Sark told us 20 to 25 touches in a game. Frankly, he's been hovering around 15 to 17 in recent games. But when you have an embarrassment of riches, quality backs with him, plus these receivers, you really have to take into account how many guys are getting touches. That's Dante Stills making the tackle of him after a 3-yard gain.
Tim, but I guarantee he's going to have at least 20 touches a day, particularly if they have this cushion of a lead. They're going to try to get as many touches as they can up into that 20-25 threshold.
Play fake to him, Card.
Nice.
Looping it to the sideline, and it's caught by Whittington. Whittington brings it in for the 1st down out to the 46-yard line of the Mountaineers. 22 yards.
Davis Mallinger was back there defending number 27, Tim. He just kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, and Mallinger has played well of late. That West Virginia secondary, which is their area of weakness, has been exposed by Sark. Card is now 8 of 10 for 118. Underneath, he goes to Bijan. He can go at any point in time. Any point in time.
And if you remember, Sark made no distinction when he used the term touches. Not necessarily running. Anytime we can get the ball in our best athlete's hand, that's an example right there, number 5's impact on the game. Watch him here, Tim. Card does a wonderful job, and then a move in open field. Same guy that just busted the coverage a minute ago. Less than sure tackle.
Yeah, look at him navigate. It's those little moves there in those areas where you don't see a lot of room that remind you of his idol, Reggie Bush, our own Reggie Bush. Here's a look at that previous play.
Even when guys have gotten leverage on him, Tim, that ability, the guy is cut up like coleslaw, right? There's not an ounce of fat on his body. The way he's able to get through there and make guys miss.
I love that Spencerism. Looping it into the end zone. They're going to get a flag. Pass intended for Casey Kane, number 88. And that's McLaurin, 13, that was back in coverage. Hershey McLaurin that's going to be the guilty party.
Pass interference,
Back up free
number 13.
safety.
Defense, that foul was in the end zone. By rule, the ball being placed at the 2-yard line. 1st down, Texas.
In a lot of ways, probably a good foul because it's going to be a touchdown if you don't trip him up.
Yeah, McLaurin was actually on his way down. He was falling toward the ground.
Yeah.
And then, rather than just give it up, he just grabbed that hand out there and tripped it.
Probably saved himself a touchdown. Robinson remains the setback out of the shotgun. Little pitch to him. High into the air, and he launches himself, but is stopped shy of the end zone. Marcus Floyd, 24. Strong safety, making the stop for West Virginia.
The line judge was there, so he saw it, but from this angle, I thought he got in. But again, obviously, he was down.
Yep.
Does a nice job of jumping up in there. Yeah, he's down, clearly down.
Andre,
full helmet before the inline.
Andre Carrick, 69, a tackle. He's come in as tight end eligible, so tackle eligible. 92 on the right side of that line. Robinson, the setback, like a power eye, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Carrick did a nice job at 92 when he came in there. We got a marker down. So we'll wait.
Offside, number 12. Defense, line up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Take a look at this block by 92.
Damn, this is just power football. As Frank Boyles, the late Frank Boyles would say, again, you've got a nice big guy in there to block for you, and Bijan doesn't need a whole lot to break him open for him, man.
Yeah, Frank, that was some seal. With number 92, the big ugly guy, moving in from tackle to tackle eligible.
A little homage to the old Southwest Conference days.
It was Robinson's 30th career touchdown as Auburn puts through the extra point. I don't know that we expected a laugher, but we may be on our way unless JT Daniels can get his receivers to start catching the ball and the Mountaineers can get any kind of ground game going. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton for the stay. I once remember the great Paul McGuire saying, Bevo looks happy, Jim. 6 plays, 71 yards, 2:14 off the clock. How do you really know if he's happy or not? I'm really not sure.
Well, he was bred for long, lean
Yes, he was.
winter. I know a little bit about the Longhorn breed.
Jeremiah Aaron is back deep. And another fair catch is called. Well, tomorrow is a classic. I mean classic NFC East rivalry on Fox as Carson Wentz leads Washington against Zeke and the Cowboys. For the regional action elsewhere, it all kicks off at 1 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Break out the Hogs of yesteryear for Wentz, who needs some help. West Virginia has not looked good. Their receivers have appeared tentative. Daniels did overthrow on one occasion, but what's most concerning, I'm sure, to Neil Brown is the inability to run the football.
That's right. And ultimately, Texas's defense has been efficient.
Again, the shallow cross. It comes in late, and that's Reese Smith, number 15, and he's popped after a 9-yard pickup. I mean, they're feeling these hits for a long time after they catch the football.
And I would add physical to that. The bandit safety, Anthony Cook, comes in there, man, and he's cooking with grease on that play. Just a little love tap and a reminder to let you know you're going to pay a price when you come in there. Love to see this. You didn't see this a couple of years ago last year by this back end.
2nd down, a yard to go.
Good communication going on the defensive side for Texas.
Mathis uses his quickness to get ahead for a 1st down. Gain of 3 out to the 38-yard line, we'll call it.
I'll tell you, just watching Jalen Ford, the Mike linebacker, communicate with his guys, Tim, to reduce them down, to take away those apparent running lanes is a work of art. It's a subtlety that most people are going to not see, but man, just watch pre-snap. When you see that type of communication, it lets you know that those guys are engaged. Those Thursday nights are paying off on those little pop quizzes that Sark gives them.
Mathis stopped after about a yard by Jalen Ford, the man you mentioned just a moment ago. That, for me, was a little bit of a Patterson moment when he said something about a pop quiz. That's the first time I'd heard Steve Sarkisian mention it, and we had just talked about the Patterson effect. Neil Brown looks really upset, and who could blame him? I think he anticipated a much better performance to this point here in Austin tonight, particularly after that aggressive showing at the land of Sandman at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg last week. There's a quick curl that's complete to Bryce Ford Wheaton. He's a couple of yards shy of a 1st down, a gain of 7.
I think what Neil is considering, everything is a grind, right? Graham Hell is not able to get his offense on track and getting the ball pushed down the field, so they're resorting to sticking with the game plan, which is to find some modicum of old-style balance. And when you're down 21, you can't be running the football. You got to score. You got to get points. And it looks like that this offense of Texas is back on track. The Card at quarterback, Bijan doing what he does, and these great receivers, Xavier Worthy and company. I mean, they've been relentless.
1 of 5 on 3rd downs. Donaldson burrows ahead and does have apparently the line to make. It'll be very close. they are going to say he did make it, move the chains.
Yep, and he's going to move the chains, but this is the painful way to get back in this game, right? You're trying to keep this aggressive defense. They're not going to change their personality at this point. They're going to remain aggressive, but you have to, if you decide to go down this path, to at least make them honor the box with numbers, and then you're going to take some shots at some point. But, man, you got to take a lot of shots to erase that 21 spot.
At this stage, I think the defense probably needs a blow. They may be thinking that way.
That's a good point.
With this offensive series. Donaldson, the setback.
They are in cover two. That's a little softer.
Yep. Daniels spun down. That'll be a sack. Back at the West Virginia 43-yard line. And the heat was coming from Baron Sorrell.
And Keandre Corbin and company was in there as well, number 99, the nose tackle, Timmy. The pressure was there. Watts was covering. Here's the Twins look inside. Nice job of passing that off underneath to Jalen Ford, the Mike linebacker, but the guys up front. Those four Husky guys, man. Keandre, 99, Moro Ojomo, and then the Sorrell, the Jack linebacker, did an excellent job of shutting that thing down.
Behind the sticks again, 2nd and 15. 4 hurries, a couple of sacks.
They close so quick.
Big time as Sam James got it. I mean, there are multiple burnt orange jerseys, and they're all arriving in a bad humor. Jalen Ford this time on Sam James.
Yep, and then the Bandit safety was in there, number 11. There's a reason why they call them Bandits.
3rd down and 12. Daniels looking long. It's knocked away. Ford Wheaton, the intended receiver, it hung up a bit. And Deshaun Jamison with an outstanding individual effort.
And Deshaun is only about 5'10", 187 out of Lamar, Houston area, man. Houston representing the night in this Twins package. Late communication inside, but no problem. Try to have a shake move underneath, and he comes over the top and just gets that right hand in there. Excellent defensive coverage, accepting the challenge. Man coverage clean. Nothing to see here. Next.
Xavier Worthy in single safety back at his 20 as Oliver Straw got pressure that time, just got it off, and a fair catch by Worthy at the 13. They had the punt block on that time, a 41-yard boot. Nice job by Oliver Straw, the freshman from Melbourne.
B.J. Allen almost got him, too.
Sure did. You're looking at defensive coordinator Jordan Leslie, who told us we've got to get something done in creating some turnovers, and he's going to need one now because this Texas offense is high octane, and they are calling some ball plays, Spencer.
Yeah, it's just that excellent play calling that's doing. I mean, this coach is a really good defensive mind, right? Of Royals finals in 2021. He knows defense, but again, when you got this kind of balance and weapons, it takes personal mistakes like this to give you a chance.
Oh, yeah, that was the opportunity that they were looking for. They created some turnovers last week, which really helped. They lose 10. And I'm not sure if that snap, I'm not sure if that snap surprise Card or was just a little high.
Yeah, it was high in a way, that's for sure. And Card got a little bit gimpy on that play.
He did. He's not completely healthy. I think West Virginia knew they needed to get a body on him, and to this point, he's been relatively clean.
Cox came in there a little bit late, too.
Jordan Leslie grew up in the Mississippi Junior College game, would later go on to Kilgore Junior College in East Texas. And Robinson with markers flying all over the place. Down at the 5-yard line, a gain of 3.
That's usually a holding of some sort. It was thrown by that back judge there, and his eyeballs are trained in that linebacker area, in that interior line.
We have had some neutral zone penalties in this game on both teams, though. Guys lining up in the neutral zone. Let's see what our referee, Michael Vandervelde, has to say.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Boy, you talk about misery-loving company in that scrum. The penalty committed by Jordan Jefferson, that's their leader, that's their go-to guy, the nose, and you just cannot have that happen at that spot on the field.
Yeah, and he's 310 pounds. You're not going to, when you're reaching out, you're not going to miss that guy's arm, right? He's a huge presence at that nose tackle position. In this 4-down scheme that they play, Tim, that's where he's going to be. He can do two-gap it and play it well, but that's just uncalled for.
That's Keelan Robinson. No jet sweep action, and another late flag comes down as he goes down after a loss of a yard. Side judge had this one.
Holding number 0. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Jatavion Sanders, who had that catch from the arms of Worthy a moment ago. That is definitely a hold.
No question. And again, the guy's trying to stretch and get away from you. You got to let him go, man.
By the way, the right tackle of Alabama had a hold that was a lot worse than that, that went uncalled when Bryce Young,
a couple of those,
made his way down the field.
You love letters now, Tim.
Oh, yeah. I speak the truth. That's Robinson again. Keelan out past the 25. Another marker comes down at the 27. Let's see if he'll tack on 15 more after Koba took him out.
He just stepped away from Jazir Cox, number 7. Again, you saw that burst of speed, Tim. That was impressive to get out of harm's way.
After the play is over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 8. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Yeah, it was Koba after he got past Cox, right there.
There it is.
That's a tough one, too, because, you know, Spencer... Okay,
he's clearly out of bounds. He was outside the white skirt there,
yeah, he had plenty of time to see that he was on the white.
He said, my bad. That's him. That's him.
4 penalties, 48 yards. 17 plays and 15 penalties so far tonight. They're going long again. It's Worthy again. And he is so worthy tonight.
Timmy Wesley McCormick and Aubrey Burks were back there in coverage, number 2 and 11 respectively. And watch Worthy, a nice little nod route, but it's just going right now. Finds the difference in that back end and splits it and just streaks right past both the coverage. You know, if he didn't have to wait on that ball, Tim, I still think he's running a little bit. I think he held on to it.
Oh, he did. If the pass had been on time, he would have scored. 45 yards and a first down. Line to make will be the 3. And wait, that's Bijan headed for the boundary, and he is stacked up. That's Anel Carr, 44. First to get there.
Yeah, you got to have courage again with outside rushers coming in. Sean Martin, number 91, being pushed upfield. Carr senses it, steps up in the pocket, climbs the ladder a little bit, and keeps his eyes downfield. If he, as you said, if he puts a little bit more on that, Worthy obviously, and he hits his head on the goalpost, he's still running right about now.
You know what? There was a lot. It was crowded in there. He may have been protecting his hand on the follow-through with that pass.
I just love the fact that he kept his eyes downfield. That tells me a little something about his courage.
Rashawn Johnson, the setback over the middle. It's touchdown. It's Sanders, number 2 on the night. Third touchdown of the season, his second tonight.
Just a 4-man rush here. Carr does a nice job of stepping up and puts a little bit air underneath this pass and puts it right up there. He climbs the ladder and brings it down. I'll tell you what, they are doing a number on this back end. I kind of winked at Sark and I said, I think that may be an opportunity or 2.
Yeah.
He said, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, they have burned this young secondary, and they have been delivering blows on defense as well.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, a major wake-up call for Oklahoma and Fort Worth. Bryce Young went down with injury. Could Bama hold on against Arkansas? And a top 10 ACC showdown between NC State and Clemson. Tim and Spencer, how do you do? And back to you.
I love the energy, Sarge. That's going to keep you in the business a long time.
It sure will. We had a Sarge in the elevator bring us up here, too,
Sure
right?
did, yeah. He and Devin Gardner is in for Emmanuel Acho, who is somewhere having a really good time watching this first half. And Chris Peterson, they'll be coming your way. What a day it has been in college football as we start the month of October. Jeremiah Aaron. And again, only 2 times he's brought back the kick. He's not made it to the 20. Probably a better idea to just take the fair catch. Speaking of October, baseball weather, Spencer. This October on Fox and FS1, the National League's biggest stars battle it out on the road in the Fall Classic. The National League Division Series begins October the 11th, only on Fox and FS1. So, Spencer, I guess it's a battle to see who plays the Astros.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought
Congratulations,
so. Thought
Dusty.
you'd say that.
Yeah, congratulations for Dusty getting over 100 wins this year. And only 4 others have done that in both leagues, Timmy.
Braves and Mets are putting on quite a show in that division. Look at the total yards. 87 in one drive, and that's more than West Virginia's had all night.
That's a delay.
Wow, they have really discombobulated. I think they may have gotten a
Prior to
timeout.
the delay of the game, West Virginia called their first charge timeout.
Okay.
30 seconds in late.
We will take this with West Virginia. We'll return in 30. A few moments ago when it was 14-0, Spencer, we mentioned it might be a good idea to have a quality drive. They did not. They did manage a couple of first downs in their last sequence, but again, Texas hit them with an explosive play to Worthy. Now they're just trying to get something done before the intermission, and that pass is caught by Ford Wheaton, and he's got a first down out to the 28, a gain of 11.
Yeah, Texas is not going to be as aggressive down here. They're back in their cover two shell kind of look. But Timmy, they don't need to put pressure on right now. West Virginia's up against it.
Johnson bouncing it outside. This kid's got some speed.
Yes, he does.
I mean, this triumvirate in the backfield behind Daniels of Mathis, Justin Johnson Jr., and C.J. Donaldson Jr. are outstanding. They just got to get them unleashed.
Deshaun Jameson's got to be mindful. Right here, number 5, he got outflanked on that one, and that's rare that you'll see this back end get outflanked. But that speed right there can beat you to the edge in a hurry.
The question with this Texas team is how do you handle a full cup of success in the game? That pass is knocked away. That could have been a pick 6. Very close. Deshaun Jameson had jumped on that, and that ball hung in the air a little longer than usual for JT.
He's playing what they call a bell technique. That's where his body is facing the quarterback and he can see everything, including the receiver, off the ball. It's an instinctive type of play and technique, but he's comfortable, sure, as a nice man coverage defender to make that play. Almost took it to the house.
The stats are a blowout as much as the score at this stage. Little look-in pattern to Ford Wheaton, and another first down for the Mountaineers.
And I can tell you right now, Texas has got to be mindful. It's not the technique that they're playing. It's the individual players' pace and speed. They've got to step it up.
Johnson again, getting some yards after contact, spun down at the 37.
And Tim, when I make those kind of comments, people misunderstand. We're not rooting for anybody. I'm just telling you the game plan, we know what it is. And in order to have success, there are certain things that you've got to do to stay with the formula. In the open, we talked about populating the line of scrimmage. You've got to be able to do that. That's energy. That's an effort thing. That's not about assignment or anything like that. That's want to.
They're meaner to me than they are to you. 2nd and 6. Again, that same pass and another opportunity at a pick. I mean, it was read beautifully by Jaron Thompson, 28. And the free safety cut right in front of Palinde, the tight end. And they're very fortunate to still have it on 3rd and 6.
I love this junior from Lufkin, man. Watch him on a nice little quick in route. He didn't really stab it like he could own it as his own, but he sure could have. And that's about being in your assignment in your lane where you're supposed to be versus man coverage.
You see Palinde still in that slot to the right. It's 3rd and 6. Should be 4-down territory, you'd think. I mean, absolutely nothing. Stoned at the line of scrimmage that time. Byron Murphy with the tackle of Tony Mathis that time. They lose 4.
Yeah, he and Keandre Corbin will play nose tackle, and they will alternate in there, and Neil Brown has got to find a solution for them. They're going to remain partially committed to the game. Watch him again. The center's covered here. The nose tackle ifs around and just does a nice job of getting in there and being disrupted. Was Brian Murphy.
Spencer, they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, though, if they don't get it, I guarantee you Texas is going to go for the jugular. Well, quality field position. They're going to take a timeout here.
Yeah, it'll be a timeout. I guarantee they got maybe 3 or 4 plays where if they need a bunch on 4th down, this is an experienced offensive line that they get protection behind him. They'll get the time to make the play.
Well, they are 8 of 9 on 4th down this season, so that probably has a lot to do
absolutely
with why Neal is going to go with the analytics here and go for it despite that 4-yard loss.
Yeah, and the analytics is one part of the equation. The other part is you got a veteran offensive line that can protect.
I got to tell you, Neal Brown is a great case study for how you make it in this business. He was a tremendous coach, a position coach first at Troy, then came back under Larry Blakeney, who was a star coach, had been an Auburn offensive mind that worked with Bo Jackson under Pat Dye, Larry Blakeney, and turned Troy into really a dynasty in the conference they were in, the Sun Belt Conference. And Neal came back to become head coach. And if you look at what he's done against the schedule he's had and through the COVID season, you know, he's on the precipice of getting his program right where he wants it. But this has been an embarrassing, I mean an embarrassing first half. And it's 4th and 10 right here.
Cover 2. This is soft.
Daniels lets it fly. It's caught. It's James. It's 1st down at the 20 of the Longhorns.
But Tim, I just told you that every coach has got 3 or 4 plays when they need a big chunk like this. And when you've got cover 2, it's a zone concept, the middle of the field. You got a guy that's streaking across it, there will be some gaps there. The question is, will you have protection? Nice twins look, nice combination 3 route to the field side. Unbelievable. I like it.
Johnson takes it ahead for a yard, maybe 2. Both teams now are 9 and 10 on 4th down. That's an amazing stat.
Yep, I like that play. The reason why it worked, Tim, you had a 3-receiver combination on the field side. You're trying to clear out the middle. And if you get cover 2, you're going to have some lanes to make plays against that. Now, you got a single high safety, you got to be careful because there's usually a linebacker lurking around there.
Justin Johnson is now the setback. 2nd and 9. West Virginia still has a timeout.
Still in cover 2.
For the corner, back shoulder. And that was Caden Prather. But again, outstanding coverage defensively by Jameer Johnson out of Muir High School, sophomore from Pasadena.
Yeah, and I don't think there was contact over there, but it's nice job of squatting dog read. We used to call that squat dog read. You got that little right hand on that 3 and pull that jersey just a tad a little bit. You know, not enough to draw a penalty.
They're going to do that until the officials decide in any game what constitutes pass interference. 3rd and 9.
Trying to get that. Okay, now they're bailing out of it, softening the coverage. You're not going to have the numbers anymore. You got to find a way to get to that middle of the field.
Play clock down to 2 before he gets it off.
Yep.
That's a curl, and it is reeled in by Bryce Ford Wheaton. And that'll get it inside the 10 at the 8. 1st down and goal, a gain of 12.
I thought he was going to go with Sam Jones in the middle of the field there, number 13. He's playing that wide position, a little smaller, not a true tight end, obviously, smaller body, but that's where the best matchup is to me. Watched him against Virginia Tech, scored the go-ahead touchdown in that game.
Sam James has been targeted more than any other Mountaineer. 1st and goal. Daniels again for the corner. And it's James. Incomplete again. Lost it on the way down. And that's a ball that's catchable.
Absolutely.
But not tonight. Anthony Cook, he's going to be seeing that in his sleep tonight, has been all around the ball playing man coverage.
But I love the idea of getting it to your best receiver down here. This guy eats up touchdowns and yards. It would have been a tough catch, but he's capable of making that play, Tim.
It's makeable.
Absolutely capable of making that play.
A week ago in Blacksburg, that's a catch.
Sure did.
2nd and goal.
Little nasty bunch formation. You better call a timeout. You can't stop that.
Prior to the snap,
timeout, Texas
called their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds late.
You saw that alignment in a hurry.
And what makes it nasty is because when you've got the bunch alignment, we saw it in Oklahoma's game today, you don't know if they're going to switch those guys around. We've seen formation detach from the line of scrimmage and then move out. Then all of a sudden, they would not just move all three receivers, they would switch positions within that little try combination there. And you got to sort that out. Too much communication on the other side, so they call a timeout.
Now, for West Virginia, I think if you want to test this Texas team, you got to do something before halftime. You got to let them know that you're still here. And this drive is all about that in so many ways, I think.
Absolutely. You're taking the momentum away from the offense, right? Slowing them down a little bit and doing the one thing that Sark said he wants to get away from, and that's reduce number of reps. Got to have more possessions and more opportunities.
By the way, coming up at halftime, Mike Hill no doubt will be speaking to that Missouri-Georgia score. 3:16 left in that game, and Mizzou leads it 16-3. That's pretty amazing. Second and goal. There it is on the slant. It's Caden Prather, touchdown. Exactly what the Mountaineers needed before the break.
That kid's got great range. He got man-to-man coverage here, Tim. And all he did was present his numbers in a nice little post route. Does a wonderful job of presenting his numbers. I love the fact that he's 6'4", 211. And when you go down here, place that ball up there, let that guy pluck it out of the air and make great plays. And it's just a wonderful job of him setting in there. Jameer Johnson was defending the cornerback on the back end.
Now, Prather was highly coveted coming out of high school. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma all wanted him. Casey Legg snuck it through. And it's a 28-7 game. Let's take a look at it again.
A glimmer of hope, though, Tim. Again, athletic move here to show that we can compete when we don't stab ourselves in the foot and become our worst enemy. You know, they had Texas backed up a minute ago and just watched them drive all the way the length of the field to score. That took time off the clock.
They had a bad snap.
Oh, my God.
And the ball was on the ground at the 1-yard line, and then a face mask gives them another break, and then the big play to Worthy, and it's suddenly 28-0. That sequence right there could have been a 14-point swing.
Absolutely.
But Neil Brown can at least feel that his team has something they can hang their hat on when they get into the locker room at halftime.
Well, it's been a slow burn to be sure, but at least they do have some modicum of momentum going into the halftime. And
Spencer, I was talking to Tony Caridi, the outstanding play-by-play voice of the West Virginia Mountaineers. He's been here through Don Nalen, Rich Rod, Bill Stewart, Dana Holgerson, and now Neil, and he really believes in Neil Brown, and a bit more manageable. How about that? A squibber that could have been a turnover, but not quite. Texas will have it, but he believes that the long story on West Virginia is going to be really, really good with Neil as the head coach. I've known Tony a long, long time. Syracuse grad, outstanding broadcaster.
You're talking about a hot potato here, Tim. Everybody's turning, reacting, right, retreating, but you got to be mindful of that. They got their teams out there, Tim, but I like the idea of going in this direction because these are not hands guys out there on the field necessarily.
You know, Arkansas was way behind. Bryce Young got hurt earlier today. His shoulders, throwing shoulder. They got a touchdown to cut it to 2 touchdowns, and then they went onside, got the ball. Ultimately, Alabama made the big plays and blew them out, but I love that idea. I think that's a great opportunity. What do you have to lose with that little time left as Roshan Johnson gets it out?
Well, let's not forget that Texas got their first couple of scores, you know, in unconventional fashion with trick plays, and any way you can get it done against a conference opponent is a good way.
2nd and 4 here for Hudson Card, who's looked awfully good tonight. Throwing on the run on the final play of the half. Or maybe a friendly clock operator will give them an extra second here. That pass was intended for Tariq Milton. And they are going to get one more play. And they're going to drop 8 back to about the 10-yard line. This would be your prevent shell coverage, right, Spence?
That's right, the timer kind.
And the timeout taken by West Virginia.
West Virginia called their 3rd and final charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Well, for those of you that have been keeping up with what's been going on in Southwest, South Central Florida, now into South Carolina and the state of Georgia as we speak, join Fox Corporation in donating to support those affected by the devastation of Hurricane Ian. Please visit www.redcross.org or text the word Ian to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Just devastating to see what happened in the Naples and Fort Myers area. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that live in that part of the world, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and to everyone in Ian's path as it makes its way up the eastern seaboard.
A lot of resilient folks down that way, Tim. Prayers go up.
Card's gonna let it fly and deep. And you gotta knock it down, and they did. Didn't want any miracles, Neil Brown, so he took that time out to just probably remind them, you better knock it down. Take a look. This is still pretty close. Still very close. Card was unbelievable. 13 of 17, 223 and 2 touchdowns. Almost got another one on a Hail Mary heave before the break. I was always a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers guys. Well, right now,
1989.
West Virginia, it's been heartbreaking, trust me, for them. Although they did get a touchdown to close the half. Spencer T, I know you've got some snapshots for me.
Well, it's odd, man. You look at the West Virginia team, they possess the ball longer than the Texans have. The Texas bunch has. And then the bottom line is this. Card was dealing, man. 8 ball in the corner pocket. You like that right there? That's nice.
I do.
A little trickeration was happening here. Worthy, nice job of showing you his arm. Sanders on the receiving end of that one. Outstanding, but less of these penalties on the part of West Virginia. And meantime, more of this. JT Daniels with the dart of an arm shows you he's got the ability to make it happen, man. It's a laser in the end zone there. Prather on the receiving end. But they've got to eliminate the penalties. If they can do that, they've got a shot of ending this first half with a little bit of momentum and then coming back in the second half to reset with a chance to get back in this thing, Tim.
By the way, the fact that West Virginia did not defer was shocking to a lot of the West Virginia people I spoke to at halftime. As you see, Keelan Robinson on his way up to the 29-yard line. You know, I'm curious, Spencer, as we get going here. Tonight's hardest working player is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need, as Hudson Card is making his way out. He has been outstanding in this game so far. 13 of 17 for 223 and a couple of touchdowns.
He really has. I mean, he's executed. You know, everybody knows he's nicked up right now, but Steve Sarkisian, the play caller, has given him an opportunity to make great plays.
Hudson Card has been a whale of a hard-working player. And that's Keelan Robinson on the receiving end. I'm curious, Spencer, as a player, when you're accustomed to seeing, when you win the toss, a defer, meaning your defense is going to play first and you'll get the ball first to start the second half, does that have a psychological impact on you?
Well, it can be depressing. If you're an offense and you want the ball in your hands and you've got playmakers on that side of the ball that can do it, it takes a little bit of wind out of your sail, man, if you're an offense. Lack of trust.
Yeah. Second down and 9. They swing it out again to Worthy. And he has been the go-to guy. Whittington is always going to get his opportunities at big plays, but Worthy has been outstanding.
And that Whittington on that last play in the 8 spot was out there blocking, so these guys are getting involved, being sacrificial for one another.
They're 2 out of 4 on third down. Wow. Bijan finds a way, gets it out to the 42. Move the sticks, it's a first down. Sam Martin with the tackle, number 91 for the Mountaineers.
Going pace and tempo here.
Quick.
Yep.
Bijan again, look out. Once he gets to that second level, it is look out. And that's where, in my mind, he reminds me a lot of Reggie in his heyday at USC. That was Marcus Floyd, number 24, coming up to make the stop.
Nice little crossover step right there. You know, that's a little karaoke style of drill that we've got when you cross those legs over, man. And those drills, you wonder where they come from. That's it right there, real time, off-schedule moves as a result of preparation and practice.
Roshan Johnson now comes in the backfield. Card in trouble, flushed, but lets it go. Deep into the end zone, and
nice
it is
concentration.
Drill. It is caught. It is touchdown. It is worthy. Oh my goodness, are you ever worthy? Tipped into the air by Aubrey Burks, but on the tip drill, Xavier Worthy with the catch of the night.
Yeah, and it's all because of his concentration again. Look at his head. Look how still it is. Mindful of where the ball is. He never loses sight of it. On the carom, he's still there. Worthy hauls it in. Boy, he has been on fire today. Throwing touchdown passes, catching touchdown passes, and just showing you the depth precision to keep his head locked in on a deflected pass.
And the Horns just keep on keeping on. Fire the cannon one more time. Look at that. Well, you know why Hudson Card has confidence to throw it. He knows that guy's going to catch it. Xavier Worthy is getting into some rarefied air in terms of touchdown catches. Look at this one more time.
Yeah, he was in the trail technique and just ran right by him. The ball wasn't particularly thrown well, but it's his concentration, despite double coverage, again, to stay focused on that ball and call it in. It's that kind of night, Timmy.
And for poor Burks, look at that. Oh, the head goes down, and then you know. Xavier with 5 receptions, 115 yards, okay, 2 touchdown catches, plus he threw a 33-yard touchdown pass. Card, 16 of 20 for 274 and 3 touchdowns now.
The crazy thing about this game, Tim, as this moment right now, Texas still has 2 fewer possessions, or not possessions, but plays run in this contest. This speaks to the efficiency. 6 drives, 5 of them produced touchdowns. Outside of the first one where they had to punt it away, they've been on a tear ever since then.
Everybody's happy. And you don't need a credential to be happy. No. 1st and 10 at the 25 for West Virginia. Justin Johnson Jr. is the setback for J.T. Daniels.
We're finally going to take a shot here. Oh, no.
Inside zone goes with Johnson. And Justin gets it out for a gain of 8 to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Well, still trying to be married and stay with some modicum of mix with the run game. They showed you a trips formation, which is more often the time a pass formation.
One more time, those quick feet. Nice little adjustment there. I'm telling you, West Virginia you've not seen the real Mountaineer offense. Now, Texas's D has a lot to do with that. They've played with a lot of attitude and have pushed West Virginia around. But these backs that J.T. Daniels has are really good, as are the receivers. This pass to the back shoulder, caught by Ford Wheaton. And he's inside the 30 to the 29. We could still have some fireworks from the guys in blue and gold before it's all said and done.
And Ryan Watts is covering him here, but Wheaton does a nice job of spotting that ball. Oh, right hand on that shoulder, it turns around, but just that owns it, right? It's just my ball. I'm going to get it. Pace and tempo are off him again.
Daniels in some trouble.
Oh,
he's going to have to take the sack here. We'll lose about 4 on that play. Baron Sorrell, one more time. He's been all over the place, number 88. New Orleans, Louisiana, Holy Cross High School.
Yep. And you know, Tim, that jack position is really a flexible one. It's really an in-rusher type guy. He's got to be able to drop in some kind of coverage and things of that nature. But it's a nice sack dance. How about this right here?
Oops.
A little athleticism.
That was like a bad audition for the Rockettes. 2nd and 15. There's a quick slant, incomplete. And again, the pass may be thrown a little bit behind.
No question.
Cortez Brown. That's Braham, his first target tonight, number 11.
And Ryan Watts defending on that play again. Daniels knows it as well. Ball was thrown on his back shoulder. Got to give those guys, particularly when they have man coverage, an opportunity to make a play, man. You put it in front of them, You know it's man. You put him in, got a defender in your hip pocket. You're going to make some extra yards.
Third down and 15. 3 from 9 on third down conversions. Another third and long here. Daniels, incomplete. James, the intended receiver. They are allowing a lot of contact back there. I mean, the arms and the jostling that's taking place. And Texas came out here, I think, with intentionality defensively to play these receivers physically, and it has worked. And it's 4th and 15. And you know the stat, they're 9 out of 10. This one's going to be a difficult one to get for 15 yards, but they're going to try. Backside pressure. Daniels pass too low. Prather, the intended receiver, he got some heat coming off the edge.
Well, Deshaun Jameson was in coverage. I actually like the play. Deep coverage right there. Put a little bit more wind underneath that, Tim. You make it.
Forget about field position. Texas got it in great shape again. How's this for a point of view look from the Red Bull Air Force as they make their way into Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium? I'll give him a 10 on the landing.
That's not bad. I think the second guy in landed it, though, with the flag, Texas flag.
I see it. I'm going to count skydiving as a sport. That's my 27th sport to cover there. Little bubble screen to Whittington. Knocked out of bounds at the 39. Jordan Whittington. Cuero High School, Cuero, Texas. Gain of 5. Robinson. Will be about a yard and a half shy of a first down.
Yeah, I think Texas looks content to kind of try to run this thing out. It's early yet, but again, the bottom line is they're going to do what you suggested the other day, get number 5 some touches.
I'll be curious to see if after a period of time he gets Card out of there. This should be enough for the first down. Get it to about the 46-yard line. Well, given the fact that Hudson is not completely healthy, I don't know that Ewers would play or could play. I think, he indicated to us that Quinn could. But, Red River's coming up. Schedule's going to get a little tougher along the way. But this kind of game and an opportunity to get as many snaps and, as you said, touches for a lot of guys, that's what he's looking at here. Over the middle, it's caught. Right in the seam, he gets Worthy again, and a flag comes down in the backfield. Could be a late hit. Could be an unsportsmanlike against West Virginia, and he's up Gimpy. That's one of the reasons I suggested he might get Hudson out.
76. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Wow.
Got Hayden Connor on that play.
Yeah, it did. I thought he might have gotten the late hit, but instead it's a hold even after the hit.
That's a sophomore out of Taylor. You remember they're young across that. He's the only sophomore in that front. Everybody else, actually there's Jake Majors is a sophomore at the center spot, but everybody else a freshman, man.
Yeah.
They're young up front.
Yeah, two freshmen, and they keep them apart. Kyle Flood, the offensive line liaison and former head coach at Rutgers, was also on Saban's staff with Sark. He said, I've never started 2 freshmen on any one of my lines, so I do keep them separated. One is at guard on one side, the other at tackle. Here's Jatavian Sanders, flag down again, as he's finally wrestled to the ground out at the original line of scrimmage, the 46-yard line.
I think this one's going to be on Christian Jones out there blocking on
Illegal
the
block in
island.
the back.
Dante Stills.
70. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
You were all over that one.
Yeah, Dante Stills been here forever, man. He's surprised that he stayed around Stills, but the block in the back there, that was Carr and Linnell Carr, number 44, out of St. Louis. Just got to be clean with that. Get your head in front of your defender.
First down and 30 now for the Longhorns. And you see the penalty yardage. West Virginia had theirs at inopportune moments in the first half. really set them back. Robinson is the setback. Play fake to him again. Card is in trouble and down. And Spencer, I don't know.
Gotta be careful.
You got to be careful with him. Given the leg injury he's already got, that's Koba that brings him down.
Lee's got some athleticism too, does Koba, and he came flying in there, man. And when you're running lateral as a quarterback, you can't really defend yourself a whole lot. You got to be mindful of that. That wheel is not in the best condition right now.
He came through the transfer portal as well. Syracuse, then to East Mississippi Community College. 2nd and 36 after that sack.
Good feel in the pocket.
Yeah, real understanding
Nice.
of where his guys are, and he gets it to Bijan Robinson to the 30-yard line to get some of it back, and it'll be 3rd down. That's a gain of 10.
Yeah, we talk about those internal clocks as you look at Ewers there on the sideline. That was just a beautiful job of a quarterback stepping up, and as you said, Tim, instinctively knowing where the pressure's coming from and having that internal clock to get up out of it. And that guy right there's got to be happy with what he sees under duress.
Look, we were here for the opener against the Raging Cajuns in September of 21. I don't know about you, but I thought Card was outstanding that day and was their future.
Yep.
You know, that's in the world of college football today. You better have 2 really good ones, and Texas does. On the run, Card's pass is tipped into the air. This time it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that one was ill-advised. He tried to get that one over Andrew Wilson Lamps, the corner head, and he had coverage in front and behind him on that play right there. I'm not sure that was a smart decision to make. You got underneath coverage, the ball was thrown high.
I think he feels like if Worthy's in the vicinity, he's going to give him a shot.
He's definitely, he leads the conference in contested catches, so he's that type of guy.
First punt since the first series for Texas. Fair catch is made by Preston Fox, the redshirt freshman from Morgantown High School in Morgantown, West by God, Virginia. All those fans back there in Mountaineer land are hanging on, hoping something good might happen down the stretch. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton for the stay. State Capitol looking good tonight, and you see the numbers here from a yard standpoint after the first 4. And it's just been difficult for West Virginia in this one. They faced a Texas team that has been playing with an edge in this one. Daniels flushed again, lets it fly, gets it into Donaldson Jr.'s hands. Down the stretch in that final drive to put the game away against Virginia Tech last week on Thursday, a week ago Thursday, they really allowed him to take the game over, and he did. Both on the ground and catching little wheel routes, little screens, that kind of thing.
Well, tonight it's really been about the efficiency of Texas on offense. There's 7 drives, they scored on 6 of them, and Tim, there's not been very many hitches in what they're doing offensively.
Yeah. Little inside receiver screen to Ford Wheaton. He's been pretty consistent. He's about a half-yard shy of a first down.
Yeah, and the thing on the defensive side with Cook and company rallying to the ball, the one thing's been consistent for Texas, they've been around the football. Nice.
Donaldson's got the first down.
I've seen that a lot tonight.
Yep, and that's a Dorba once again making the stop. Prince Dorba. And oh boy, we got an injured Mountaineer. Let's hope it's not. It is Donaldson. Oh, that's too bad.
That's not good.
He got him low around the ankles as he was making his way in. He looked as though he stumbled down to the ground, as though maybe the turf monster was part of that tackle.
I mean, that guy is so important to them. I mean, tonight obviously he didn't get these numbers, but he came in averaging 7.1 yards a carry. Right? He's a man too, man.
Looks
Big,
like
strong.
it looks like they're looking at the head. Looks like they're looking at the head here, Spence. I thought at first it was the ankle, but it's the head. 88, Dorba, as he's falling over him. I believe that's 88. Let's see. Watch right there. Yep, Dorba. It looked like it might have been a knee to the helmet as he was coming across him there. That kind of blow to the side of the helmet that has him still on the ground. It's a very concerned Neil Brown and West Virginia fans. very somber scene here in Austin, and I want to make a correction. I mentioned it was Dorme. It was not. It was Sorrell, Baron Sorrell, 88. I got the number right, but I misspoke in giving the name. I mentioned Dorba, but it was Sorrell. And see the look. He was completely knocked out, we're told. And that's why so many are on a knee, both teams. Prayers taking place on the Texas bench in a huddle. And we think about so often the huddle and the influence of what the huddle means in the team game, even though we don't see as many huddles now as we used to. They're concerned for their fallen friend, C.J. Donaldson Jr. Godspeed to that young man as they get the cart ready and to lift him up and get him out of here. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Well, they have managed to get the trainers, managers, everyone, all of the doctors have managed to get him on the stretcher, and they're about to lift him onto the cart. C.J. Donaldson Jr., young man that was never a running back until now. He played receiver and tight end in high school, and they found him. They said, look at the size of this young man, and they moved him into the running back position. Thought they had really found some special back, and these fans are as concerned. And
solidarity there.
A lot of solidarity being shown by everyone on the field and everyone in the stands.
Tim, I've been here before. National television, 1983 against Missouri. Tracy Mack, inside linebacker for the Tigers. A nondescript butt straight up to the head. It was nothing vicious. It was just a nice pop, and I went down like a light. Yeah. And I'm telling you, this is so reminiscent of what happened on that day, and I remember the feeling. Ended up coming back 2 weeks later against Nebraska, but man, we hope that he can only have a return similar to that, because he certainly looked like he was lost consciousness there for a moment.
Yeah, there are sobering moments in this business of ours, and in the game of college football, this is certainly one of those. And it's been in real time, well over 10 minutes for these players, and we've seen players openly weeping on the West Virginia side, and we'll just allow the crowd to pay their respects, and these guys to get their minds right before we play again here. His story is incredible.
I just love the level of empathy. The thumbs up in the air, Timmy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
A great sign.
There you go.
One of his teammates tried to lift him up, and then he went out, and that's immediately when the concern shifted to let's get to him as quickly as we can. This is a replay of what we saw live just seconds ago.
Wow.
Looked like he may have had some assistance in getting that finger up. But our thoughts and prayers are with CJ. They were actually recruiting Trey Latham when they found this young man, and they got him in the summer, and he was very involved in their OTAs, and he impressed everyone, so they moved him into running back to join forces with Mathis and Justin Johnson, and he really was the difference late in that win against Virginia Tech last week. And now you wonder, for all of the players, this has got to be the toughest part, right, Spence? When you have this long of a delay, you're concerned about your fallen comrade, and now you got to summon up the chutzpah to go out and play the game again.
It is a delicate position to be in, Tim, but there's only one way to play this game, and that's 100%.
Yep.
And when you do anything other than that, believe it or not, the likelihood that injury occurs in a sport that if you play it long enough, injury is guaranteed at some point in time.
Yeah.
It will happen to you. The issue is the level of injury.
Tony Mathis is now the setback, and as we come back to play, he had gotten the first down. 1st and 10. Mathis. Past midfield into Texas territory. Deshaun Jameson making the stop.
And what you're looking for as a coach here, if your style has been to be frenetic and on defense, what has been the way for Texas, you're looking for that same thing. You know, unfortunately, that's the way you have to play this game. They're popping. They're coming right back, and that's what you're looking for. Everybody's clean with their approach to the game, but you don't want to stop anything.
Mathis got it to the 46 before being pushed back about 5 yards. Gain 3, 3rd down and 2. Mountaineers are 4 of 11 on 3rd down. James has been the favorite target. He's in the slot to the top of your screen. They hand it to Mathis. And he's got the 1st down at the 43.
Guys still in there getting after it. Jalen Ford and company sticking their noses in there, playing with their heads up, which is what they should do, and being aggressive. Tim, the interesting thing about it, every one of those players on defense, all 11 of them and all 11 on offense, they all have a life experience that gives them the capacity to either deal with this to various levels. And an injury happens, everybody's fighting that individual battle. There's no one there but you to exercise what you've been taught all your life.
Mathis been at the point of attack. Huge push by that Texas forward wall. Ford got in there again. Had some help from Tucker Dorsey as well. 2nd and 10. No gain. Mathis in motion. And it's the curl, and it's caught at the 37, so they'll get about 5 of it back. Caden Prather on the receiving end. They'll give him 6, so 3rd down and 4.
Texas asking Barron Sorrell, the Jack linebacker, to play that little soft curl area right there, and JT just delivered a dart right between the coverage. And well, I tell you what, when he wants to, he's right on spot, man. Delivers strikes. I love his command and control of his offensive scheme.
Well, there's a reason why he was so highly sought after. 3rd down 4. That pass is caught. Quick slant to Prather. And he's got the ball at the 29. It's the 1st down, a gain of 8.
Deshaun Jameson defending again. Prather's going to come out, man. But I just love the way this ball gets soft coverage on the outside. Boom. Quick slant route, presenting those numbers. But the ball is placed up and out in front of him, so that he gives him a chance to catch that free of a defender in his hip pocket.
I think he fell on the ball and
a little winded.
Yeah, got a little winded there.
Knocked out of him.
Yep. He should be back in pretty soon.
Got the swing route.
Off the edge, they go crossing pattern, and it's caught by Ford Wheaton again.
This has been a surgical drive here, and I love the anatomy of it. That 6-yard gain there. They're going to come back with another opportunity to the field. They got a nice matchup inside zone.
Mathis, nice cutback, gets it inside the 20th. That's the 11th play of this drive. That's Marvion Overshown with the tackle.
Overshown's an elite athlete, man. He's freakish in his ability. Shows you the ability to grab a guy and bring him back in. And he's just so athletic. Long levers. This kid right here is a freak, man. Can run like the wind.
4th 1st down made by West Virginia on this drive. After what was well over a 10-minute delay after the injury to Donaldson. That pass was thrown a little behind Reese Smith, number 15, the intended receiver.
Yeah, but I like it. You know, I like that play. I know it was thrown behind him, Tim, but there was traffic underneath it. And if he had gone inside, it either been picked up or his receiver would have been in big-time trouble. Sometimes you got to give defenses credit for being in the position to make the throw less than perfect.
2nd down and 10 now for JT. Mathis bouncing outside. And Texas is moving sideline to sideline quickly. Jalen Ford is there in a heartbeat. And they've run 16 or more plays. This is the first time they've done that, run 16 or more plays consecutively against Texas, and it's all happened on this drive.
Watch Overshown 0 as well. He's over the top in there as well. He came all the way from the backside on that play, from that strong side linebacker position. Nobody's slacking here, man.
Texas has given ground grudgingly, but they've given ground on this drive. 3rd and 7, and it's got to be 4-down territory. Daniels running out of time. Loops it, got it. To the 10, to Reese Smith. Boy, he had a lot of patience there, but it's not enough. It's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down. The line to make is right at the 9.
I guarantee you they're going for this. They're going to go hurry up here, Tim.
4th and a yard.
Yeah, nice push, too. There's a Reggie Bush push there.
Well, between that one and the many comparisons I've made with Bijan, he's gotten a lot of, he may get some more commercial endorsements.
Yeah, that's Tony Mathis was there pushing, and then Neil Brown appreciated that too, man, because there was no question he was going to go for it. The question was whether or not the quarterback was going to get the push he needed, and Tony, number 24, was there to help him get it in.
You should get some free Wendy's this week.
Yeah, sure should. Nice push.
Mathis remains the setback. We're running out of time here in the 3rd quarter. Time, ball batted into the air. And this, just to get the ball back on the ground, JT decided to slap it down. He didn't want that thing to stay in the air too long. Obviously, it's illegal for the passer to come up with it, but he just wanted to knock it down to the ground so no one picked it off.
Yeah, Tavondre Sweat was the guy that got in there, number 93, all 6'4", 246 of them, man.
Yep.
246 pounds, brother.
Tavondre.
When he gets on the scale, it says to be continued. That guy right there is a big rascal, man.
He is. 2nd and goal.
Nice instinctive run, but unfortunately it's going to be a holding.
Yeah, flag is down. Yep, flag is down and thrown in an area where you would anticipate that would be the call.
Well, you know, Texas plays with such integrity up front. For someone to make that cut, it had to be a wide enough space for an instinctive back to make it. That means somebody got held.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside, number 98. Defense. Holding, number 64. Offense, those fouls offset. Replay, 2nd down.
Not a break for West Virginia. Wyatt Milam was guilty of the hold. But yet again, lining up in the neutral zone. I think that's a byproduct of a team being really aggressive. Texas came in tonight being really aggressive, and they've had a number of those offsides calls tonight.
Every play like that has what I call leading indicators. When you see backs make those darty moves like that, they're running instinctively. That means somebody held someone.
2nd and goal. Stretch play. Trying to make the corner, and he does, but he's going to be a little shy. Knocked out. Mathis by Jaron Thompson, who's been active, and we've got a late flag coming down as we come to the end of the 3rd. Little yellow hanky on the field. And the preliminary indication is it's against Texas. Our white hat, Michael Vandervelde, will let us know.
Michael's trying to sort it out. So is Sark.
Well, I tell you, Pete Kwiatkowski.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 5. Defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st down. That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
So Deshaun Jameson over there along the boundary, trying to keep him from the pylon, will pick that up. So it'll be about a half-yard penalty when we start the 4th quarter. Tough times for West Virginia, losing one of their great offensive players. Xavier Worthy making great catch after great catch. Longhorns looking good, but West Virginia on the doorstep. Sometimes you just need to check in with Central Casting, Spencer. This is Prather. In basketball, we call this a quality flaw.
Oh man, that's nice acting.
Oh, my goodness. And the linesman's just all over it. Deshaun Jameson gets tagged with the ball.
He's acting, man.
So they moved it to about the half-yard line. Tony Mathis remains the lone setback, and they go with the twin tight ends. Mathis has the touchdown. His third TD of the year, and it's 35-13. That was some drive. That in the middle, we lost a player, and again, our thoughts and prayers remain with C.J. Donaldson. I know everyone in Morgantown and beyond is concerned for his health, but good way to finish it off for the Mountaineers.
Nice inside man blocking up front by the West Virginia crew. Veteran offensive line getting it done.
Tells you a lot about a team when they're down this far, lose one of their own, and yet continue, albeit grudgingly. Texas giving up ground grudgingly. They cash in and get the touchdown. That one was blocked. It still went in.
Wow.
It was deflected in the air.
Well, that wouldn't be the only anomaly of tonight. I mean, you look at the 7-minute differential in time of possession, yet West Virginia, who has the lead in that area, and here's that little errant kick here.
That would be...
Oh, it got tipped.
That would be Big Mitt unkind to Texas. Just in there. I want to say that might have been right through the middle. That was Crawford that got that. Team comparison sponsored by Credible.com. A look at the two quarterbacks. And JT's numbers creeping up as he dinked and dunked and used Mathis as a running back to get into the end zone there. But Hudson Card has just been dynamic. The explosive plays, the key, getting everyone involved, particularly Xavier Worthy tonight.
Of note, the efficiency of both of them. No interceptions tonight, but the 80-yard differential on the part of Card, I think what that does, it shows you their ability to take care of it. We don't know. We may see this guy, may not see him. I think given what happened with Oklahoma today and TCU, they may not need him. You hear me?
No, you're right about that. Well, next week, start your Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday as Blake Corum and number 4 Michigan. Gus and Joel, they better get a letter jacket from Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
They'll take their electrifying show on the road to Indiana. It all starts at Big Noon. The Big Noon kickoff live in Bloomington, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then it's Michigan and Indiana at noon on Fox. That's where we began our season on a Friday night.
That Indiana ball club has got some assets now.
They've played well. They have an outstanding defensive player in Cam Jones and more. Bijan Robinson is in the backfield on first down for Texas from their 25.
Nice.
Wide open, and it's dropped. Roschon had it, and I think he took his eyes off because he thought there's a lot of green grass here. I might go the distance. And the moment he took his eyes off it, it got past him.
And talking to him yesterday, Timmy, I got the impression that he's kind of a laid-back kind of guy, but he wants this again.
Oh, big time.
He took himself out of the play, just kind of stepped back and took a corrector step, and he wants that over. Former quarterback. Come on, quarterback. Keep your feet.
Second down and 10.
Nice.
Robinson cut it back in and ran directly into Marcus Floyd, 24. And third down coming up.
That was an initial nice move by Robinson before he came in there and popped him up. Didn't let him get around that corner.
Third down and 7. Bijan checks out. And it looks like Roschon may be coming out too. Now they're going to keep him in and flank him out to the go empty with a 5 wide. Roschon Johnson at the bottom of your screen.
They got more where that comes from. Jonathan Brooks. They got a lot of talent back there, Tim.
That was a corner cat blitz that was picked up, and Card knew right where to go.
Well, they say run where they ain't.
Yeah.
When they leave, you just got to vacate that spot and find some open space. Card deals up another successful play. Again, they bailed out underneath coverage, and he sifts with a 3-man rush. He's able to find a nice little void in that soft front.
Johnson back in there, and he'll tote it. Look at that breakaway capability. Gets it down to the 47. You think about a guy like Roschon Johnson, he picks up he could be starting at more than 90% of the Division I schools. He gets the most out of the opportunities. That was not much of a crack that he got through to pick up about 8, and now he's picked up a first down with a gain of 4 here.
I thought it was really interesting his evolution from a quarterback to a running back, and the way he got there. It was about the vision and using the mental aspect to get him to run like a running back as opposed to protecting yourself like a quarterback would. And I'd never seen that. Maybe football heads out there may remember a guy named Eric Mitchell out of Little Rock, Arkansas, who was similar to that at Oklahoma back in the day. World-class hurdler, but was a quarterback. It became a running back, and the guy was freakishly fast. But you have to have the mindset to be tough, and that's not something you acquire easily.
There's Sanders again. He's been very active, too. They're going to rule him out of bounds after he picks up, I think, the necessary yardage. Might be a little shy. And Texas still playing pretty quickly here.
Well, that was another narrative we have about finishing, right?
They do give him the first down.
Nice job of skipping and making a guy miss. I love the aggressiveness, man. I like the way they're finishing.
Roschon Johnson checks back in. Fake it to him, and they swing it out to Worthy. He's got it to the 26-yard line. He's going to be out of breath when this thing is over.
No, you never can get enough touches, man. He's clapping. He's happy. He's ready.
Give it to me.
Give it to him. Got his split cut down on the numbers.
6 receptions, 122 yards. Got another one. But I don't think he picked up any yards there. Another catch, but no yards. That's Linnell Carr, 44, that grabbed him right as he caught the football. Lost 3 yards on that play. A lot of season left, but for the home team, especially with Red River coming up and the schedule that lies ahead, this was a must tonight, and they played that way. Card is over 300. Roschon Johnson, look at him fly. He found about 3 or 4 yards there where there was really little or nothing. Well, this senior has been named to semifinals for the William V. Campbell Trophy. The Campbell Trophy recognizes an individual as an absolute best scholar athlete in the nation for his combined academic success, performance, and exemplary leadership. Well, they're 9 out of 10 on 4th down, and he's going to stay out there for 4th. Just flank him out there again. And a 5 wide, they go empty, and it's going to force a timeout. Looks like Texas is going to take it this time.
You think Sark is mindful who's getting touches?
I think so. It's not like Ohio State, though. You don't have Brian Hartline running over to him, right? So you need to get a touch for Smith and Jigba.
That's right.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton for the stay. 35-14, and they're going to bring the field goal kicker out, get him a little action before the game is set for Auburn. Can you imagine what headline writers would have done if that field goal he hit against Alabama had stood up?
Yeah, he hooked one against Alabama.
I mean, just think about it. Headline would have read, Auburn beats Texas with kick. Auburn beats Alabama, with kick. He put that one through to make it 38-14.
That's pretty good, Tim.
That would have been a great headline if I had just said it right. 45-yard field goal for the young man. So after the timeout, perfect snap, perfect hold.
Card with a nice little spin of the laces away. In the hole.
We were talking about having some depth. Georgia right now is trailing by 10 to Missouri, 22-12 with about 12 minutes left. And think about this: if you don't have quality backups. And that's the one Achilles heel for Georgia. They lost a lot of people to the NFL. So, yeah, their front line, their first teamers are great. But when you start losing players, you don't have the kind of depth maybe that you had the year before. Today, Bama's backup quarterback came in, Taylor Milroe, and he went 4 out of 9 for 65 and had an unbelievable 91-yard performance with 6 carries in that game. So that's pretty amazing for him to come in there and do that after Arkansas challenged them and cut it to a 1-score game. I just was alerted by Jake Jolivet, our producer, that we have a Who Am I coming.
Oh, that's that time again.
Well, I've been perfect. I mean, I've not missed on the Who Am I's. Jeremiah Aaron takes the fair catch. All right, English degree from Texas in '92. Breakout role in, oh, this is just, come on, this is too easy. This is too easy. That's Moore spelled with an H. M-O-H-R. Come on, man, you can do better than that. Starred in Chicago, Bridget Jones' Diary, and Cold Mountain. Oh, man, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, it was Renee Zellweger. Oh, I was thinking about the other guy. I was thinking about Chris Moore. Oh, my. That's the first time I've ever missed on Who Am I? Well, you got me, Jolivet. Reese Smith on the receiving end of that. I was thinking Jay Moore, not Chris, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Jay Moore. Well, the comedian slash...
Well, I think Renee...
Yeah, actor.
I should have gotten
Jay
that
Moore.
one, too. She was born near the Katy area.
Yeah.
It tells us about 10 miles away
Katy,
from where
Texas.
I live.
Yeah. If you remember, he was the bad guy. Jay Moore played the bad guy agent. Look at that hit. Now overshown with a huge hit of Justin Johnson.
Well, I told you he's freakish, man, and his athleticism and ability, and he's not going to slow down. Here he is. We got him combed for you.
Yeah.
Watch him flow and read and react like a computer. Man, you talk about feel. That's run fits defined. If you look at a dictionary, you put the word run fit,
Yeah.
that's what a run fit looks like right there. He's seeking missile, man. That guy right there special.
3rd down and 4 for Daniels. There's that slant that James has had trouble hanging on to at times tonight. He gets 6 and a first down. Just thought of it now. Jay Moore played the role of Bob Sugar in Jerry Maguire. That's what I was thinking about. I thought he was a Texas guy, but I'm clearly inaccurate. When I miss big. Yeah. Sound the buzzer back in Los Angeles. Daniels in trouble, gets rid of it. And they're gonna call him for grounding here.
I thought Justin Finkley had him clean, man. I thought he had him.
I thought it was a grounding call. Are they gonna call this unsportsmanlike? Are they gonna call it he was corralling him and throwing him to the ground? I guess they are. All right,
Personal
let's check it
foul,
out.
roughing the passer, number
Yep.
93. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I'm with you, Sark. I thought that was pretty clean.
Big Tavondre Sweat. This is twice tonight when he's been called for a penalty, but I
think
you know what? He comes off of that. I just think the fact that there are 2 orange jerseys on him, man, I don't see anything egregious about that.
Finkley had him first, then Tavondre came in. I think Tavondre got the call because of his size.
Yep.
I think it looked bad, therefore they threw the flag. At first, I thought they were calling grounding, which would have been a bad call.
I think you
because he had a
nailed it.
receiver in the area.
I think your descriptor was right on it. The appearance of it.
Yeah, the appearance was enough to warrant a flag. I disagree with it too. You're in trouble. That ball was airmailed a little bit to Prather.
3 jerseys, orange jerseys around him, and that narrative has not changed.
And I've not seen Texas defensive backs fly to the ball with that kind of intentionality since the days of Ham and Lamb Jones. I mean, they're all over the place.
They certainly are, Tim, and they assignment efficient. And I think the thing that I've noticed is just the integrity which they played with.
That was Jahdae Barron. That was all over that play. Swing it out again to Justin Johnson. He makes that one quick cut, which got him about 3. That's it.
Watts coming back after the initial miss. to get in on the eventual tackle. Relentless.
Pete Kwiatkowski told us, the defensive coordinator, we need to stop the run, we need to get off the field on 3rd down, and we got to get to the quarterback smartly. I think he's 3 for 3.
Yeah, he was under a little bit of pressure coming in here this year, Tim.
Yep. 3rd down and 8. Over the middle on that slant, and that's enough for a 1st down.
Can't throw the slant any better than that.
Sam James moved the chains.
As a slot receiver, that can move the chains right there, man. He's special. Nice pitch and catch.
This was a tough 2nd road game, too, for West Virginia. In the air and deep, incomplete, and a flag. They're going to get a face guard as Ford Wheaton was being covered by Jameer Johnson, and we've seen a lot of jousting tonight. That's one I think, Spencer, they're going to call simply because he did not turn his head and play the ball.
Well, the official that was closest to him kept the rag in his pocket. It was the back guy.
Yeah, I realize face guarding is not a foul. You know, again, I know the PC police of officiating's on me for that.
There is no foul for pass interference on the play.
There you go.
Second down.
Well, then someone was talked out of it for that reason.
That's what the officials did. They conferred on it.
Thank you, Dean Blandino, quietly getting word, because we've seen worse, right?
Yep.
Not called tonight.
Jameer Johnson actually did have his jersey. He grabbed his jersey. He had a handful of jersey. But the back judge or the end zone just didn't make that call.
That's right. Pass interference now is just way too subjective in college, without a doubt. It may be worse in the NFL. 2nd and 10. I don't know that they got that playoff in time.
Whatever they flow.
Johnson is run down by Ford. I think they got away with it being about a half second too late getting that playoff.
They'll vacillate forward, back and forth between that Will linebacker and the Mike linebacker. And it doesn't matter, man. He's able to run and chase and get to the sideline from either one of those positions. He just demonstrated on that last play.
3rd down and 12. Prather or James, the most targeted of the Mountaineers.
Watch their alignment. Texas be lined up in the neutral zone here.
They are both on the bottom of your screen. Daniels caught, but shy of the 1st down. It is Prather on the receiving end. So he gets 10, but they're still shy of the 1st down by a couple. 4th down.
Neil likes that. You know, got that big 6'4" body up there, 211 pounds, a nice little wedge between himself, the ball, and the defender. It's a nice throw.
Mathis remains the setback. At the end of the night, Daniels' numbers will look pretty good. Edge rush, they throw against it. Mathis right where he left, and he picks up the 1st down to the 25.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see this 2-by-2 formation again. That's the only way they can get Texas to depopulate the inside of their defensive front. Now you're playing pure man running in, and if you get a one-on-one matchup, I like that. They're going with the trips formation now. Become a short motion.
5.5 remaining, clock ticking. Another dink and dunk series, but it's been very effective, albeit time consuming. Prather receives another one. This one is inside the 20-yard line at about the 18, gain of 5.
And that's been West Virginia's challenge tonight. They've just not been as efficient, had the early penalties early on. Alternately, Texas has been efficient on their drive, scoring touchdowns 80% of the time on their drive.
No, one team had a lot of explosives tonight.
Yep.
12th play of this drive. Daniels, pressure up the gut.
Got it.
To the corner. Wow. And that is pass interference. James, the intended receiver, was a back shoulder throw. And then you just saw Jahdae Barron not only face guard, which is legal, but use his hand, which is not.
Well, you'll see that from time to time because a spur is usually a guy that's around 190, 200, 205.
23, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And you gotta sell it, right? Get your head around a little bit just to kind of give the illusion. I get the whole face guard and all that stuff, but you still have to give the impression that you're trying to defend and play that ball.
I've said this before. We've talked to coaches, many outstanding defensive coordinators, and they'll all tell you they are teaching their players to fight for every ball, to make as much contact as possible, and put the onus on the striped shirt to define what pass interference is in any given game you see in college football. Justin Johnson, the setback, pressure again, looped into the corner, incomplete, in the vicinity of Reese Smith, but that was a lot of heat. And that was DeMarvion overshown yet again.
Yeah, they got JT's arm on this one. Watch his arm at the last second here. Boom. Can't complete that throw. And I'm not so sure he needed to get hit. In other words, to take something off of that ball. It would have been way out of bounds otherwise.
It can also get you hurt a lot of times. Second and goal. To the corner, incomplete. Thrown for James. Well defended by Watts, a junior from Little Elm, transfer from Ohio State.
Sam was coming out of his break, and it was a little bit late. Ryan was in his hip pocket the whole way. I thought maybe he had a chance at that.
Third and goal. They go 4 wides with a back, and that's Johnson.
They're taking away that inside route. They got to run this.
He's got the edge. Touchdown. Justin Johnson Jr. Well, that's his specialty. Very quick to get to the edge. He emerged in that win against Virginia Tech last week, too. His second touchdown of the season.
Great blocking. I like the play call, first of all. Texas had taken away from everything, but the man route inside, just nice little faux block inside by the slot receiver.
So they go for 2 to make it a 16-point game, meaning 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. 1 out of 1 on 2-point tries this year.
Nice.
And incomplete. Outstanding defensive play. Prather was the intended receiver. Really well defended by the Texas perimeter. Timeout. Mountaineers get the touchdown from Johnson, but it is Texas that's on cruise control. (38-20), Texas with the lead. Georgia has just taken the lead at Missouri. Still some time remaining, though, but Mizzou will have to get a touchdown. It's been a long year for Drinkwitz there at Missouri. Remember, they're the team that was in the running for JT Daniels, did not get him, and I suspect that their record might be a lot different had Daniels opted to go to Mizzou. But West Virginia got him, and the prospects, if he can remain healthy, are still pretty good for them to have a good year. It looks like they're setting up for the onside, and they are.
That's hot.
Oh, they got it. Well, they should. Hans team is all over it. It was first touched by Prather. Looks like Texas got it. Boy, Prather had it in his sights. I mean, I think he was thinking touchdown. Like, I'm going to grab this out of the air, and you can't advance it. It's all about just touch. I think the players get caught up in that, though, Spence. They're thinking, I'm going to catch it in stride and just keep on going. All you have to do is get on top of it, because you cannot advance that. It was recovered by guess who? Keelan Robinson for Texas. Well done, number 7. 38-20, Texas leading by 18, and what an evening for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, he was working it, man. He threw a touchdown, caught a couple, and I just think the thing about him is he's so focused. That one concentration ball that he caught, kept his head still, did a wonderful job. Here it is right there. Just kept it focused off to Karam. A complete player right there. Now all we need to see is Jordan Winton score a touchdown, man. Today's his birthday, Tim. Got to get him in the end zone.
Get that man some cake. Robinson gets it out for another 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Worthy and a 261-yard receiving game, a Texas freshman record when he was back in his freshman season. And no wonder he's on every watch list in college football, including the Blitnikoff.
Yeah, he's a complete guy, though. You know, most of the time those guys get on those lists because they can just catch the ball. This guy's a great route runner.
Yep. Robinson spun down. Appears to have enough for the 1st down. So Robinson's numbers picking up as he gets more totes. 69 yards, 34 yards receiving, so 103 total for Bijan.
He's among the nation's leaders in all-purpose, and even though he doesn't get the lion's share of the rushing yardage, I think they're going to get better at it.
Well, Spencer, there was only really one non-quarterback. I guess maybe Anderson, a defensive player from Alabama, but only one non-quarterback even mentioned in Heisman hype preseason, and it was Bijan Robinson. He's looking to pop one. He's looking to pop one. You know that's why Sark still got him out there. He wants to get him lathered up. Jazeer Cox making the stop. We visited with him when we were here last year, and he just makes no bones about the fact that he is a Reggie Bush wannabe. I mean, but I think even more so than Reggie in a lot of ways, Spencer, he's a little thicker than Reggie was when he was in college. Now, Reggie's worked on his upper body, obviously, since he left the game. But he had that great run with the Saints, then went to the Dolphins. He was being used primarily as a 3rd down back in his later stages with New Orleans. Bijan looks like a guy that can tote it. He looks like a guy that can tote it a lot and for a long time, a lot.
But for that shoestring tackle right there, he would have been going, hitting his head against the goalpost. That was Aubrey Burks, free safety that caught him. Clicked his heels. Watch this, Tim. Got that left hand underneath there. Otherwise, there's no one else to stop him, man.
Well, the tackle eligible is now wearing 92 for good tonight. He's been in there quite a few times. Andre Karic, number 93, made that big block, that seal that enabled Robinson to score earlier. He's back in there now as a 3rd tight end.
Bring him down in the close formation and run it.
Robinson with a spin, baby spin. And he gets inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. I think that's where they'll mark it.
Burks was initially in on that one as well, but as you said, he kind of spun out of that one.
Yeah. Looks like they're taking a timeout. Mountaineers have 2 left. We'll be right back. O-line NFC East rivalry tomorrow on Fox. Carson Wentz and Washington against Zeke and the Cowboys. Other regional action all kicks off at 1 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Zeke, he's back.
I think Burkhardt will really know that Cowboys roster before the season's out, don't you think?
I think so.
There goes Bijan Robinson. That's what they were waiting on. They're going to get him to about 100. That's what I think there's no doubt in my mind. That's the goal. He gets, 16 there. And that's 101. That ought to satisfy him.
Well, he's special.
He's coming out with 101. There you go. He got his 100, and he can rest up for Red River next week.
I think she was counting those touches.
Yeah. 21 touches, 21 rushes for 101. 1 receiving, 34. He told us between 20 and 25. Sark does not lie. We enjoyed the transparency and the help, too, from John Bianco and that staff from Texas. He really had his guys ready to go. There's Roshan Johnson. And Spencer, the Sooners are wounded now going in. I guess Dylan Gabriel got hurt.
Yep.
So what's going to happen there is they get ready for Red River next week. And who knew that Kansas would be playing TCU, both teams being undefeated in the Big 12 next week.
Well, this age of the portal, man, fortunes change faster than they ever have been able to.
Big time. Lane Kiffin's got the best portal team in America. That whole Ole Miss defense is filled with portal players. Yep. Card will take a knee, and this was a fun one. Enjoyed it. I have a hunch where we're going to be, but we'll just wait and let everybody find out on social media next week. I think it's going to be a good one, though. Okay. I'm hoping that there might be a sunset over some set of mountains. That's tantalizing. I was thinking, yes. For Spencer Tillman, our entire crew, Jake Jolivet, Dustin Denty, Brett Bender, Scott Alexander, and Wiggy. Tim Brando saying so long. Let's get you into the studio. Mike Hill and company, how do you do?